The line at First National Bank stretched nearly to the door on this busy Friday afternoon. Marcus Carter wheeled himself forward patiently, the soft whir of his motorized chair barely audible over the bank's muzak. He adjusted his tie, mentally, calculating the large transfer he needed to make for his tech startup's payroll. At the next available teller window, Linda Whitmore, a middle-aged woman with bleached blonde hair pulled into a severe bun, glanced up from polishing her nails and immediately rolled her eyes when she saw Marcus approaching. "Ugh, this is going to take forever," Linda announced loudly to her co-worker, not even bothering to lower her voice as Marcus maneuvered his chair into position. Several customers in line shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke up. The bank manager, Mr. Reynolds, pretended not to hear from his office nearby. Marcus kept his expression neutral as he reached for his briefcase. His movements were deliberate but slightly slowed from his spinal injury. Linda made an exaggerated show of checking her watch. "Could you hurry it up? Some of us have actual lives to get to," she sneered, drumming her long acrylic nails on the counter. A young black teller named Jamal opened his mouth as if to intervene, but a sharp look from Linda silenced him. Marcus finally retrieved his documents and slid them across the counter. "I'd like to transfer $287,000 from my business account to—" Linda cut him off with a derisive snort. "Yeah, okay, buddy. Like you've got that kind of money." She flipped, through his paperwork with obvious disdain, pausing at his ID. "Oh, wait, you're that app guy from the newspaper." Her lips curled in a mocking smile. "Guess they'll print anything these days." The elderly woman behind Marcus gasped. A businessman in line pulled out his phone discreetly. Jamal looked like he wanted to disappear into his teller booth. Marcus's hands tightened slightly on his armrests, but his voice remained calm. "Is there a problem with my transaction?" Linda leaned forward, her perfume overwhelming as she stage-whispered, "The only problem is you holding up my line, wheelchair. Boy!" She punctuated this by tossing his documents back at him, several papers fluttering to the floor. "Now move along before I call security." The bank had gone eerily quiet except for Linda's smug chuckle. Marcus took a deep breath, then reached slowly into his jacket pocket. Linda immediately tensed. "What are you—" But Marcus only pulled out his phone. With deliberate movements, he opened his banking app and turned the screen toward her, displaying an account balance with 7 figures. Then he tapped his screen twice and placed the phone to his ear. "Yes, I'd like to close all my accounts with First National immediately, and please connect me with your district manager." His eyes never left Linda's as her face drained of color. "Oh, and you'll want to call HR, too." Narrator's voice cuts through the tension. See, Linda thought she was dealing with just another disabled black man she could push around. But what she didn't know? Marcus Carter didn't just have money in this bank, he had power, and he was about to cash in every last cent of it. The cliffhanger. As Marcus calmly recited his account numbers, the bank's front doors burst open, revealing 3 men in suits with FDIC badges flashing. The lead investigator's voice carried across the now silent bank. "We're here for a surprise audit, and we have some very interesting complaints to investigate." Linda's manicured hand flew to her mouth as her knees buckled. The arrival of FDIC agents sent a visible wave of panic through Linda Whitmore. This confrontation had been years in the making. Linda had coasted through nearly a decade at First National Bank, protected by her uncle, branch manager Mr. Reynolds, developing a pattern of behavior that would have gotten any other employee fired. Her daily routine included mocking elderly, customers for moving slowly, making jokes about clients' accents, and especially targeting black customers with dismissive treatment. In the break room, she'd often complain about minority customers making everything difficult, while her co-workers nodded along nervously, all except Jamal, the newest teller, who would stare at his shoes in silent disapproval. Marcus Carter's journey to this moment began 5 years earlier when a drunk driver shattered his spine, leaving him paralyzed. Doctors warned he might never work again, but from his hospital bed, Marcus taught himself to code one-handed. Within a year, he developed groundbreaking accessibility software that made him a millionaire by 30. Now he ran a successful tech company that specifically employed people with disabilities, proving every doubter wrong. Jamal had endured months of Linda's behavior in silence after his first complaint to Mr. Reynolds was dismissed as being too sensitive. But watching Linda humiliate Marcus in front of the entire bank crossed a line. As she contemptuously tossed Marcus's paperwork to the floor, Jamal discreetly activated his phone's recording feature. He knew First National's dirty secret: how loan applications from black neighborhoods were systematically denied for vague risk assessment reasons, while identical applications from white clients sailed through. Mr. Reynolds had carefully maintained this discriminatory system for years with Linda as his willing accomplice, all while claiming the bank wasn't racist, just selective. When Marcus made his phone call, it wasn't to customer service but to Mrs. Alvarez, the bank's largest investor and a prominent disability rights advocate. She'd been waiting for concrete proof of the bank's toxic culture. Jamal's covert recording provided exactly that. As FDIC agents began their investigation, Jamal made his move, slipping the damning video to Marcus. Watching the footage, Marcus's expression shifted from anger to cold determination. "This isn't just about me anymore," he said quietly before raising his voice for all to hear. "Someone call the news. This bank's about to have a very bad day." The threat hung in the air as every employee realized their world was about to come crashing down. The bank erupted into chaos as Marcus's declaration hung in the air. Mrs. Alvarez arrived within minutes, her designer heels clicking sharply against the marble floor as she confronted Mr. Reynolds. "You've been running a racist loan operation under my nose for years," she hissed, throwing internal documents on the counter that showed the discriminatory approval patterns. Meanwhile, Jamal's video was already spreading online, the footage of Linda's cruelty going viral with Bank of Bigotry trending nationwide by the hour. Reporters began swarming the building as Marcus gave his first impromptu press conference right in the lobby, his wheelchair positioned squarely in front of the bank's logo. "This isn't about one rude teller," he told the cameras. "This is about systemic discrimination that's been happening while good people stayed silent." Behind the scenes, panic set in. Linda locked herself in the employee bathroom, her perfect manicure digging into her palms as her phone blew up with notifications. Former friends distancing themselves, news outlets requesting comment, even her fiancé texting, "WTF, is this video?" Mr. Reynolds desperately called the corporate office, only to be placed on indefinite leave pending investigation. The bank's PR team scrambled to draft an apology, but it was too late. Major clients were already withdrawing funds, with Marcus leading the charge by closing all 7 of his accounts, totaling $4.2 million. When Jamal tried to slip out unnoticed, Mrs. Alvarez stopped him. "You're the whistleblower?" she asked. His nervous nod was met with a firm handshake. "Good. You're hired at my financial group starting Monday, at double your current salary." The situation reached its boiling point when investigators uncovered even darker secrets: doctored financial records, illegally denied loans to disabled applicants, even evidence Mr. Reynolds had been taking kickbacks from a rival bank to sabotage minority-owned businesses. Linda, now realizing the full consequences of her actions, attempted to flee out the back door only to be met with cameras and protesters chanting, "Shame on First National." Her breakdown was captured live on social media as she collapsed to her knees sobbing. "I didn't know it would go this far," the same words she'd mocked Marcus for earlier that day. The poetic justice wasn't lost on the growing crowd. Marcus watched the unraveling with quiet satisfaction, but no joy. This victory felt hollow compared to the years of discrimination so many had endured. As news vans surrounded the building and the bank's stock price plummeted, he rolled up to Linda, now a crumpled mess of smeared makeup on the employee breakroom floor. "You thought you could treat people however you wanted because no one would believe them over you," he said calmly. "But karma always collects." His phone buzzed with a notification. The Attorney General's office had just announced a full investigation into First National's lending practices. The bank would never recover from this scandal, and neither would the careers of those who enabled its toxic culture. As Marcus exited through the cheering crowd, he spotted Jamal shaking hands with Mrs. Alvarez. A new chapter was beginning, for the whistleblower, for the bank's victims, and for Marcus himself, who now had an even bigger platform to fight discrimination. The narrator's voice echoed the unspoken truth. When good people stay silent, evil thrives. But when one brave soul speaks up, entire corrupt systems can come crashing down in seconds. The cliffhanger left audiences breathless. What would happen when the morning news cycles began? Would other victims come forward? And just how far did this banking conspiracy truly go? The reckoning had only just begun. The scandal erupted overnight. News outlets blasted headlines about First National's discrimination, but the real shock came when leaked emails revealed Mr. Reynolds' systemic sabotage of black businesses. The documents showed him routinely denying loans to black entrepreneurs while approving riskier white applicants. Most damning was Marcus's own rejected loan application from after his accident, bearing Reynolds' handwritten note. Disabled founder Taubau's too high risk. Marcus studied the documents in disbelief. This went far beyond one rude teller. It was institutional oppression. His ringing phone interrupted his thoughts. Senator Davis, banking committee chair, requested his testimony. "We're investigating nationwide," the senator said. "Your story could change everything." Linda's downfall was swift and brutal. Her fiancé publicly denounced her on social media. Her apartment complex faced pressure to evict her. Every job application was instantly rejected. When she gave a tearful interview claiming victimhood, the host destroyed her. "Did you mock a disabled black man or not?" The clip spread like wildfire under Rish's karma comes quick. Then came Jamal's recordings. Security footage revealed Linda training other tellers to discriminate. "Go slower with black customers," she instructed, laughing about an elderly black woman struggling with forms. The leaks triggered audits across the banking industry. The reckoning arrived with hurricane force. First National's stock plummeted 40%. Investors fled. Federal regulators seized control. Reynolds was arrested mid-press conference, his cuffed. Hands flashing on every news channel. Marcus became an overnight icon. Publishers fought for his memoir. The White House requested a meeting. But his boldest move came at his press conference. "I'm purchasing First National's assets to create a truly inclusive bank." The crowd roared approval. A broken Linda came crawling to Marcus's office. "I didn't know," she wept. Marcus handed her a janitorial application. "Prove you've changed," he said. "Start from scratch." As Marcus prepped for Senate testimony, a mystery envelope arrived. Inside, proof First National's corruption ran deeper than imagined. The narrator's voice chilled. "Some hit rock bottom. Others get buried under it." The Senate hearing erupted in chaos as Marcus revealed the secret ledger from the mysterious envelope. Concrete proof that First National's discrimination was part of a coordinated scheme with 3 other major banks. The damning documents showed executives systematically denying loans to black, disabled, and immigrant applicants with handwritten notes like "no husband, no chance," and "wheelchairs don't belong in boardrooms." When Marcus played an audio recording of Reynolds laughing about keeping those people in their place, 2 bank executives bolted from the room, their careers crumbling in real time. Linda's desperate attempt at redemption came through a tearful tell-all interview exposing Reynolds' training methods, but public outrage continued until Marcus offered her community service at his new bank's financial literacy program. "Real change requires accountability," he told press, demonstrating both mercy and unwavering principles. 1 month later, the grand reopening of the former First National, now Unity First Bank, drew cheering crowds as Marcus unveiled its mission. No discrimination based on race, disability, or zip code. Jamal stood proudly as head of community outreach, while Mrs. Alvarez announced a $500 million fund for minority entrepreneurs with Marcus at the helm. In the aftermath, Reynolds served federal prison time while his victims received restitution. Marcus became a Forbes-listed innovator, his accessibility software transforming businesses nationwide. Linda found purpose helping formerly incarcerated people rebuild credit, a far cry from her days as a bigoted teller. The narrator's closing. Words resonated over footage of Unity First's diverse team. Discrimination dies in the light. Marcus proved victims can become leaders who rewrite the rules. When injustice crosses your path, do you look away or stand up and rebuild? The final text revealed Unity First's impact. 317 loans approved for underserved entrepreneurs in just 1 year, with Marcus, Jamal, and their team smiling behind counters bearing the motto, "Banking for All."